Hello, America. This week, I am doing a special series of shows. We have called it A New Republic, America's Future. But for those of you who didn't have a problem with the old republic, I think this special is more aptly titled Reasonable Questions for an Unreasonable Time. By the end of this week, I hope you'll have a clearer understanding of what might be happening in Washington. I don't know what's happening in Washington because nobody's asking questions, and certainly nobody's giving you any straight answers. You'll have a better idea of what to do about it as well. But more importantly, you will begin to see that this is not about Barack Obama. It is much bigger than Barack Obama. Many people will ask you, well, if these things are so true, why is it that only Glenn Beck is saying them? Believe me, I have asked myself that question many, many nights, usually about 2 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. Why is no one else asking these questions? It could be, and I'm hoping this is the answer, that I'm wrong. Believe it or not, it is one of the greatest desires that I have, that I am wrong. You see, ask yourself this first question. What do I have to gain if I'm right? If I am right, America transforms into a place where guys like me don't make any money. If I am wrong, well, then I'd be wildly discredited, now wouldn't I? What would be my motivation other than I believe these questions must be asked? This week, I'll be giving you some of my opinions, and they are just that, my opinions. But that's what this show is, an opinion show. They are certainly shaped by facts and research. By the end of each show, you'll most likely have more questions than answers. But that's where I find myself. During this week, we're going to be dealing with these things, and I want to show them to you because I want you to look at these, because on Friday you will understand why I've selected these. We're going to talk about Obama and the left and internationalists and graft and acorn-style organizations, revolutionaries, czars, and hidden agendas. Because my search for answers, I think, comes from the same place where your questions have come from. I am no different than you. I am just a regular schmo that finds myself on a set in New York. I mean, this is an unbelievable place I find myself in. But there are some things that I think Republicans, Democrats, liberals, and conservatives can agree on that don't make sense. But for some reason, it's too uncomfortable to verbalize those things. Well, America is burning down to the ground. And if somebody doesn't ask these questions, well, we're all just going to watch it burn down together. You know and I know. I don't care what your ideology is. How does spending trillions of dollars fix the economy? The economy that's broken because we've spent too much money. Can we possibly spend our way out of debt? Or as George Bush said,
have abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
What? Congress is voting on these massive 1,000-page bills. Nobody's even reading them. And then they mock us when we say, could you please read the bill?
I love these members that get up and say, read the bill. What good is reading the bill if it's 1,000 pages and you don't have 2 days and 2 lawyers to find out what it means after you read the bill?
I'm going to give you perspective on that coming up in the next half hour. Whenever Obama has a gathering of supporters, it's grassroots. But when regular Americans protest his policies, it's astroturf, artificial. I mean, am I hateful, America, to ask these questions? Am I hateful for saying, can we survive this crushing debt? If yes, give me specifics. How do we survive it? What's the rush on health care and cap and trade? Sure, the planet's going to burn to the ground, but can we at least read the bills? Who's writing these bills? Is it Nancy Pelosi? Is it some organization? I'm going to give you the answer tonight. Will Washington read and understand the bills before they sign them? Am I hateful to ask them that? Am I hateful to ask why are they grassroots if you're for these things and you're astroturf or hateful if you're against them? Let me ask you this question. Who are these czars? What do you even know about these czars? Where's the damn media on the czars? What do these people do? What power do they possibly have? Are they even constitutional? Who's paying for them? Why is it necessary to completely overhaul health care nearly overnight, even though none of the changes would even go into effect until 2013? Is that a reasonable question? What's so bad about our current system? Yes, I do agree that there are some issues, sometimes big issues, things that we do need to fix. But is it so bad that we must fundamentally change our entire system overnight without even reading it? How can they pass a 1,500-page climate bill that would cause our electricity rates to skyrocket? Listen to the words.
My plan of a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
Okay. Excuse me? We're in a down economy? You want to do that? Plus, there's plenty of evidence to doubt that there's even a problem, or at least a problem that we can do anything about. Since the answers that Washington is giving us just don't make any sense, I'm sorry, maybe it's just me. I have to find something that does. America, the hour is growing late. I cannot help but express to you that time is of the essence. That is my opinion. I think you feel it as well. Tonight, our first in 5 series, I want to deal with just the economy. They've told us that we have to spend our way out of debt. And you know what? People used to say that, and it did make sense for a while. I mean, people say that in a way they're absolutely right. I mean, you have debt, right? I have debt. We all do. We have debt with our cars. We have debt with our homes. But at some point, you get to, no matter what kind of money you could make millions of dollars. You could be Bill Gates. And you get to a point where you cannot pay off your debt. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Well, are we there yet? Let me ask you this. I'm going to show you this clock. This is our U.S. national debt clock. This is phenomenal to me. This is our national debt, $38,000 per citizen. But that isn't all of it. You've got another $23,000 down here. Can you scroll up, please? Look at the bottom of the screen. There's the unfunded liabilities. The unfunded liabilities. Look at this. Keep coming up, keep coming up, keep coming up. Here it is. Unfunded. This is Medicare, Medicaid, all this stuff. Unfunded liability per citizen. $191,832. Now, here's my number one question. And I'm going to give you a possible answer. But I want you to ask this question first to yourself, and then you take it to Washington. Is there any way to tax and spend out of these numbers, just the unfunded liability, $191,000 per citizen? The answer is no. Then that would lead you to question number 2. Why would anyone want to add more spending? If the answer is even close for you, remember, on Friday, the president took our 10-year deficit, the deficit he'll have created, the White House own estimate, he's taken that from $7 trillion to $9 trillion. Now, $10 trillion is what the CBO tried to tell us 6 months ago was reasonable, and everybody badmouthed them, the administration. No, that's unreasonable. Why would we even listen to those clowns? Well, how can the administration be this wrong in 6 months, and no one in the media is even really talking about it? Nobody is holding this man's feet to the fire. How can they be this wrong in 6 months and then expect us to believe them on the rest of the spending? Second question, what would your motivation be to spend us into oblivion? Do you have one?